If you think that 2025 is going to be a mega bearish year for crypto, then think again, because the pieces are starting to fall into place for what could be a mega bullish year for crypto. Remember, investing rewards patience and a steady hand. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 reasons to be bullish on crypto in 2025, and you will not want to miss reason number 10. It's a doozy. But up first, reason number 1, which is the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on March 6th, laying the groundwork for a U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Now we have Senator Cynthia Lummis, who has reintroduced her Bitcoin Act in Congress, which is the idea basically to secure more Bitcoin beyond Trump's presidency and push toward a goal of accumulating 1 million BTC over the next 5 years. Trump's executive director on digital assets just said on stage at the Digital Asset Summit in New York that the U.S. wants to buy as much Bitcoin as we possibly can get our hands on. With the world's biggest economy going all in on Bitcoin, this is incredibly bullish. Plus, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, he's been directed to get as much budget-neutral Bitcoin as they can, which is a lot of potential levers they could pull. And guys, can we just, for a second, holy shit, the United States is gonna buy Bitcoin. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And everybody's bearish. Get out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit. And then there's gold. Look, nothing screams sovereign debt crisis like gold hitting a new all-time high. Gold is outperforming Bitcoin recently after hitting $3,000 an ounce, but don't worry because Bitcoin could be next. Now, historically, the correlation is not super strong between gold and Bitcoin, but there's enough of a correlation to say, hey, screw it, gold's rallying, Bitcoin's probably going to be next. Bitcoin will probably eventually follow and is likely to rally harder due to its much smaller market cap. So it's only a matter of time before Bitcoin starts flexing its muscles too, especially with all the other macro backdrop going on. The timing of gold's rally couldn't be any more bullish for Bitcoin because BlackRock literally just said Bitcoin is an emerging global monetary alternative. Are you getting the message yet? And China could be about to flip bullish on crypto as well, potentially opening up the floodgates to a tsunami of fresh liquidity. Do you see China banned crypto at the end of the last bull market was one of the major catalysts for the big dump in 2021. But there's been rumors recently that China could pull a complete 180. They started, launching ETFs and stuff in Hong Kong with the approval of Beijing, which was sort of the canary in the coal mine of a change of attitude. The CEO of the asset manager Hashkey Capital said Hong Kong's easing of crypto regulations could lead to China reconsidering its stance on crypto, especially now that Trump is the first pro-crypto president of the United States. China has to respond. China has almost 200,000 Bitcoin, by the way, and there's been talks from David Bailey at Bitcoin Magazine, who doesn't spread bullshit, that there are closed-door meetings happening in Beijing that there could be a launch of a Chinese Bitcoin strategic reserve. Are we going to see a situation where you have Donald Trump and Xi Jinping trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible? That would be absolute insanity. And guess what? The first country to 1 million Bitcoin wins. No, I just made that up and pulled it out of my ass. But still, if we see nation states competing to buy Bitcoin, I'm sorry, but no one's even close to bullish enough. You have no idea what the fuck's going on. This insanity, guys. Come on. Holy shit. Oh, but $110,000 was the top of tops. It's only going down from here. Before we get into the next reasons, and there's some big ones coming, guys, quick word from today's sponsor, COINTRACKING. Thank you to COINTRACKING for sponsoring this video. Look, managing your cryptocurrency portfolio can feel like a full-time job, especially when you've been trading for years like I have. Heck, I even remember back when I first got into the cryptocurrency markets. I was so excited, but also pretty damn overwhelmed. Keeping track of all my trades, the wallets, all that stuff, taxes, what a nightmare. I had transactions scattered across different exchanges and so many wallets. And every tax season, oh gosh darn, I dread the heck out of that paperwork. That's where COINTRACKING steps in with more than 1.7 million active users, including 25,000 accountants and corporate clients. This is a game changer, 100%. Whether I need an overview of my profits and losses or whether I want to generate a tax report, COINTRACKING has it covered. COINTRACKING even supports over 300 exchanges and wallets, so I don't have to sit around spending hours manually inputting all the data, which of course sucks. Plus, it's the cheapest tool out there, and they even offer a free plan for up to 200 transactions. Pretty cool. And the tax reports?
They're the most precise in the market, with support for 12 country-specific reports and 15 tax methods like FIFO and LIFO. And if you need more support, guess what? COINTRACKING's full service handles everything from the managing of your accounts to the filing of your crypto taxes. Doesn't get much better than that. So if you want to make managing your crypto easier, then check out COINTRACKING. Use my affiliate link in the description to get signed up for free. And if you go for a paid plan, you'll get a 10% discount exclusively using that link. And if you pay with Bitcoin, you'll get an extra 5% extra off. This is one tool you don't want to miss out on. Link in the description.
Okay, so America. The U.S. also is pushing forward a stablecoin bill to help preserve the U.S. dollar's dominance. So in that case, it makes stablecoin regulation a must, which is why a stablecoin bill called the Genius Act just passed the Senate Banking Committee with an 18-6 vote. The bill aims to set clear rules for stablecoin issuers, which, if approved in Congress, will bring massive legitimacy and liquidity to the entire cryptocurrency market. Now, it still needs at least 60 votes to be able to pass in the Senate, so work to be done. But it'll make it necessary for both sides of the aisle to show support for the future of technology and for extending the U.S. dollar dominance globally, which is something everybody should want in America, right? Now, you're probably thinking, Lark, but why is that matter? Yo, if we get clear regulation on stablecoins, that brings trillions of dollars into crypto, which means a lot more money sloshing around the system to buy your dog coins. Guys, don't think about it too hard. It's just math, okay? Now, next one. Mark your calendars, because October 2025 is potentially going to be a very wild month for crypto. Actually, April could be a pretty wild month. But look, the countdown is on for spot altcoin ETF approvals in the USA. The next big approve, deny delays are coming in April. But the deadlines for XRP, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, Polkadot, all this stuff, altcoin ETFs, that is coming soon. The 240-day window for approval has kicked off for these ETFs that have so far been acknowledged by the SEC. I mean, the final deadline for a batch of these ETFs will be mid-October. That's the final deadline. It could happen sooner, okay? These ETF applications could get approved or denied much earlier than that. They've already been delayed once to the end of April. Let's see what happens at the end of April. But if they get approved earlier, then this could be a great catalyst that the market needs to rally hard. There's already been indications that we're going to see XRP and Litecoin get approved potentially at the end of April. Something else that will make the market eventually rally super hard too is rate cuts, man. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer for this one to play out. The Fed just announced at the March Fed meeting, the FOMC, that it's keeping rates the same between 4.25 and 4.5%. But 0.25% cuts are still expected this year, taking the Fed fund rate down to around 3.9% later this year. With no meeting in April, we're going to have to wait until May at the earliest for this to happen. There's very strong bets on the prediction markets that we get a cut in May. If not May, almost certainly in June. When the rate cut does happen, it'll bring more risk appetite back into the market. And there's more good news on the macro environment, and that's that the U.S. inflation is starting to cool down. Since October of last year, inflation was rising up again, getting everyone freaked out, getting up to around 3% in January this year. But February's inflation came in lower than expected at 2.8%. Egg prices are down, oranges prices are down, gas prices are down a lot, which means next month we're probably going to get even lower inflation print. Well, the Fed does expect Trump's tariffs to lead to short-term price spikes in some sectors. They believe it won't have long-term effects. And if you believe the data from Truflation and that they're a more accurate measure of inflation, well, inflation's actually fallen off a cliff to 1.78%, lower than the Fed's 2% target. But the even more bullish news that came out of the March Fed meeting was the slowdown of quantitative tightening. QT, baby. The Federal Reserve said it's going to shrink its balance sheet at a slower pace starting from April 1st, an 80% reduction in treasuries or a 33% reduction overall, not counting mortgage-backed securities. So basically, the government can strike a deal on increasing the debt ceiling because of this. So now the Fed will significantly reduce how treasury securities or how many treasury securities it allows to mature without reinvesting the proceeds, down to $5 billion each month from $25 billion, which is a significant move. Less tightening means more money flowing back into markets, and that's historically been a huge bullish signal for the cryptocurrency markets. In fact, from previous QT stops, markets tend to pump, in crypto specifically. Now, we have not fully stopped QT It doesn't mean QE is going to start back up again straight away. But don't go thinking that the US needs to be doing QE for the global M2 money supply to hit new all-time highs, because that's exactly what they're doing right now. As of March 10th, global M2 reached an all-time high of $108.2 trillion, marking a 3.5% increase from its 2025 low of $104.5 trillion on January 6th. Now, wherever global liquidity goes, Bitcoin goes too, but with a lag of between 70 and about 107, 110 days, which means Bitcoin's next rally could start as soon as April, might even be starting now. And there's plenty of capital waiting on the sidelines, ready to be deployed into the cryptocurrency market when sentiment changes, because again, the stablecoin market cap booming, right? Stablecoins booming, the Stablecoin market cap already booming, even before the Genius Bill gets passed. $235.7 trillion, billion dollars, not trillion, $billion, a lot of money. That's an increase of more than 11% since January, and at one point was worth more than the entire market cap of Ethereum. With all this dry powder currently sitting on the sidelines, it's hard to believe that the top could already truly be in for the cycle, with all the bullish news happening, with all the bullish catalysts we have coming for the market. Well, 2025 has been a rough year, particularly for assets like Ethereum. The signs are all there that actually the rest of the year might be much more bullish than people expect, and that this growth scare might soon be forgotten. Thanks for watching.